Namaste, Jai Bharat. You see, there are times in Bharat that we don't understand English. We don't understand English. So you speak English, we don't understand. How you speak in Hindi, well, we understand. Or Sanskrit, we'll understand. Or you speak in any languages of Bharat, speak in Tamil, we have friends who will translate. But we don't understand English. That's why Trump says so many things. How do I know? How do we know? We don't understand English. He says so many things. I'll do this, I'll do that. You don't buy this from Russia. You don't do this, you don't do that. Or we don't understand. And that is why we are unable to reply. We don't reply because we are unable to reply. We don't understand. You speak in Hindi, then of course we would have replied. There's so many things are happening, but Bharat keeps quiet. And that is what precisely a yogi does. You don't get a yogi to talk nonsense. Of course not. The yogi just sits in his own world. In his own world means it's a different world, which also is your world, though you don't understand it for the time being. And you go and shout in front of a yogi, makes no difference. This is a story. Buddha was a yogi, definitely. Buddha people consider as a separate religion, all right, it's their choice, but then as far as the Hindu is concerned, he is one of us. Buddha is a yogi fundamentally, and somebody when it abused him, said so many things, and last I think he spoke this thing. I said, look, suppose he gives something to someone, and if he doesn't take it, the thing which you give belongs to whom ultimately. The person says, of course, to the person I gave, because that man is not taking. Then all the abusive words he gave me, no, I am not accepting, please take it back. That's a story with a yogi. And you are dealing with my Prime Minister who is a yogi. And you see him in modern times, that's all right. But you see his inner soul. That's a perfectly refined yogi's mind. And you say so many things. He remains unruffled. See, we have a concept in yoga, Chitta Vritti Nirodha plus Chitta Shuddhi. These two things you search in Google. I am not here to explain. The Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta Vritti Nirodha, and these things he knows long back. He is a yogi and not yogi of yesterday. He had been practicing yoga for a long time. And you tell things to him, it makes no difference to him. So that solely I said, we don't understand English. You spoke in English, so we don't understand. It is something like some language, some talk, something which makes no sense to us. So when you speak nonsense, it makes no sense to us. That's the point. You talk nonsense, it shall make no sense to us. And when it doesn't make any sense to us, we don't reply. Why should we reply? So many things happen around us. So many sounds of nature comes. I don't call it as noise, but sounds of nature. Some sounds very beautiful, some sounds not very attractive, but then there are sounds that are happening. This verbal pollution, verbal network pollution is always there in the world. You call them in whichever manner you want to look at it, you call them in whichever way you want to. But then this verbal pollution, we don't care because we remain unaffected by such things. So we don't respond, we don't reply. Whatever you say makes no difference to us. But we know why. We know what we are, number one. Number two, we have very clear perception of what we are supposed to do. And also, we have a very clear perception of what you are. You say so many things and you don't think that we can trust you. You yourself know that we can't trust you. And you yourself know that no one can trust you. Perhaps you yourself know that you are untrustworthy. So who cares for such kind of things? We won't. We will not respond. We will not bother. Whenever there were problems that happened to Bharat, we knew how to face it. During the time of Lal Bahadur Shastri, one of the most refined soul of this nation, in his time we had food shortage. There was this aggression with your friend Pakistan. Our half cousin once removed. I'm borrowing this from Asterisk Comics. First cousin once removed. So when he was the Prime Minister, we had food shortage. At that time, our friend United States of America, I would like to called what Pablo Neruda called United States of America. Pablo Neruda called it as United Fruits Company. That's one of his poetry. I've found his expression long back, way back when I was a student. So the United Fruits Company, what Pablo Neruda called this, he pay half his own right to say that with all kinds of geopolitics of those days. So that time they didn't give us wheat. They were supposed to give us wheat. They suddenly stopped it. Great help at the crisis. They stopped wheat, and then what our Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri advised is that go for a pause, skip 1 meal a day. He himself did it and demonstrated. And don't you know that people of Bharat will listen to him? We will skip 1 meal. There's nothing new to us. We know how to perform upvasa. We know how to fast. We are a land with long tradition, which you can understand, because those days when we were very rich in culture, we were flourishing. Your ancestors were, and we don't know which part of the world, certainly not in US, because America was those days the land of the Red Indians. And you went and snatched it from them, and then you start treating it as another land. Great, that's your problem. I have nothing much to speak of, but you didn't have that kind of knowledge tradition of those days when we had. And those days, where were you? In whichever country, whichever corner of Europe, and whichever forests or jungles or whichever manner of barbarism, that you have to search. I'm no one to even give indications or find out. I don't know, it's not my ancestry. My ancestry is very clear. And you talking to such a people, you're talking to such a people with such tradition and culture, and you just judge by clothes, you judge by looks, go ahead, and you would not realize to even how wrong you are. You won't realize it also. Alright, all the best. So we just don't bother. You keep speaking. That's only because, we're innocently speaking, we don't understand English. Had you been speaking Hindi, of course, we would have replied. We don't speak English, right? It's not our language. हमें तो समझ में नहीं आता, पता ही नहीं चलता. So we don't know. Alright, that's the story. So we shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat. Jai Sri Ram.